you all should have received a download zip file similar to this one, correct? When you open it, here's what you're going to have in here. You're going to have an estimating tab. You're going to have a reports tab, this truss estimating, and types. These are templates. The truss estimating and types are templates that you're going to install in Plan Swift, and I'll get to that here in a second. You're also going to have the Truss Genesis .exe file. All you need to do to install this is literally click on it, and you're going to put it on your desktop. Okay? When you do that, you're going to have an icon that looks just like this, which is your Truss Genesis file. And when the program opens up, it'll look exactly like this. And I'll show you what'll happen here. That when you have this icon on your desktop, you're going to double click it. When you double click the icon, it's going to come up and it's going to have a dialog box. It's going to ask you for the serial number and company. Put that in, and once you put it in, you hit enter, and then it'll open up the program. Once the program has been opened, immediately close it. This is a very critical step here, that once you have it open for the first time, once you guys input in the serial number and the company name, if you open it up and then close it immediately. Okay. Once you do that, what you're going to have is you go to your user's file. In your user's file, you're going to have under public, it's going to have a Truss Genesis file here. What you're going to do.
Thanks. I just sent the email with the serial number to everyone just now.
Okay. Now, one thing that once you have the initial, the icon and you double click on it, you put in the company name and you put in the serial number, it should activate. If you get a macros, needs to have macros enabled, go into Excel, under File, Options, you're going to have your Truss Center settings, click on macros. You have the Trust Access to VBA Project Object Model, that has to be clicked on. And then you have two different options here, enable all macros or disable all macros except digitally signed macros. Sometimes this will not work. I leave mine on the disable all macros. Users file, go to your C drive, users, and it'll be a public folder.
Okay.
And then you should get this Truss Genesis folder here.
Yes.
What I do and what okay, if you create your shortcut and then copy it to your desktop,
okay.
What you're gonna have is a XLSC file, okay?
Okay.
This is your main file that you're gonna use. Anytime that you start a new job, and here's what I have everyone do, is I leave this basic file and then I copy it. You're going to paste it in here, and then you can rename it. And then just hit OK. What I usually do is I go in here and create basically a template file for each of the different facilities, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here in a second. Once you create that template, you can go into the program and reopen it, and every facility that you have, and I'll show you exactly why, that I create a template file for each of them. Now, when you double click on your icon itself, it's going to come up with a data file, open data file. Click on the file that you'd like to open. And this is what you're going to see when you open the file. Okay, you're going to have a roof input template, and I'll go through how each of these work. The floor template, the roof estimate, and this is why I make it a template, because you can modify this and put in everything on this page is 100% modified. You can put in your own emblem here. You can modify exactly the format that you want all of this to look like. And if you have an example of what you'd like it to look like, send it to Mike and I can update it for you. You have a floor template as well, and you see all the information that comes in here. And here's where it's important that you have a different file for each facility for a template. How I have it set up, a lot of people want some simple things out of it. They want the total board footage and they want an approximate material cost. All of that can be derived from the front page. Some want out of it basically a pricing tool that you'd be able to price everything in here, which is able to do that. I have it set up right now on basically a complexity-based pricing schedule based upon your truss labor, and you can go in and modify each of these by the different types of truss that the program actually recognizes. These are the main trusses that you're going to be using in your design. You can come in here, and if your facility is running at 14 cents a board foot for direct production labor, for a common, and then you can modify all of this. The material pricing is whatever you're using in your facility, and then if you're running like most people these days, you can modify exactly what you're paying for lumber and the approximate percentages that you're running within the facility. So all of this is 100% customizable, and it'll pull the information back into pricing out your trusses. On your hangers and beams, this is all simple input. You just come in and whatever your facility is carrying and your cost that you want to sell. This is pretty straightforward, and where you'll see all of that, if you have a roof quote and let's say that you're going to have 20 hangers, it'll actually pull that cost into your ancillary items. If you have beams on it, you've got 2 20-footers, it'll actually pull all of that into the costing for a quote if you want to use them. Okay. Now that we have this set up, let's tab. You probably do not have this showing, but what you want to do is have Plan Swift open. Go to Import tabs. I would do Types first. Find the folder that has all the downloads. Click on Types. You're going to hit Open, and then it's going to come up and ask you the location. It's going to be local. The name is Types. You just hit OK. And it'll, more than likely, you will not see this, but it will be there. You'll do the same thing for the truss estimating. Import tab, hit Truss Estimating, and then you're going to hit Open, and it'll say Local and Truss Estimating. Once you hit OK, you're going to have a tab up top that's types will not show. So if you've imported it, it's there. It just doesn't show. If we go back to the download folder. The next thing you're going to have is the estimating and truss reports. All you're going to do here is copy for the estimating. Going to go to your C drive. Going to go to your program files. Going to find Plan Swift. The next thing we're going to have is the truss reports file. Same thing. Copy. Here's where we're going to put this. You got a couple of different options on this one. When we go back to data, you've got your reports tab here. You can either right-click and copy it here, or you can go into your new reports and copy it there. Either way. And I'll show you the difference on where you or where you paste them. If you paste it here in just the reports file, when you have Plan Swift open, it's going to come up and it'll be all by itself. You have the new reports, you have the legacy reports, and then you'd have another drop down here, the truss reports. Once you have all that in, you're done. That's it. That's all we need to do. Now, just if you go into Plan Swift and go to your Reports tab, you should have a folder that says Truss Reports that should have a roof and floor report in it. We go to the Estimating tab. You should have a roof, floor, and ancillary tab in estimating. Then when you go to the templates, you should have a truss estimating tab that has all of this information. Once you have all that in, you're ready to go.